Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Taiku. Today we have the Rolex Submariner date, reference 116610LV, otherwise known as the Hulk. Sorry, just let me rearrange this back. I had to pull the crown out to get the second hand from stopping. To stop, I mean. Because I can't stand videos where I do cuts and 1 second the second hand is here and then the next second it's over there, and then it just drives me nuts. Okay, back to the review. This is probably one of Rolex's most popular models, alongside with the Rolex Batman BLNR. Usually when people are looking to purchase this one, they're also looking at the BLNR, as those are the two most popular models. Two of the most popular models as of late from Rolex. This model was introduced back in 2010. When it came out, people were unsure of how they felt about the green. Some liked it, some loved it, some hated it. But of course now, as we all know, it's one of the most desired models that Rolex produces. Back then, it was hard to convince consumers to get the green model in replacement of the black. The black one was such a popular model that most people opted towards it. And also, this green LV model has a price hike or a premium over the regular black models. Rolex also has another model called the Kermit with a reference 16610LV, and that was the 50th anniversary. I believe the Kermit had a limited production run, but I'm not too sure about the Hulk. They make it and it's not limited, but people are unsure of how long they'll still keep this in the Rolex catalog for. The Kermit was, of course, a 5-digit sub, so it had a slimmer case profile, and this is this is the newer generation of the Super Oyster case, which has the embroidered lugs. It's a little bit more square, and it has I was gonna say it had the maxi dial. The Kermit had the maxi dial, but now all the Submariners have the bigger lume plots. I think the newer case style is fantastic, and I think it wears really well. The size of the watch remains the same at 40 millimeters. It's just it wears bigger, and it's thicker, and it generally has more mass to the case. On the dial itself, it tells you that it's water resistant to 300 meters, and this it makes for a perfect daily wear, and I wear mine every single day. Well, close to every single day. That's why there's a tiny bit of scratches here and there. The Submariner is a perfect sport watch, especially as a daily wearer. With its relatively thick case, it's classy, and you can also dress it up or down. It's not as versatile as the regular black Submariner, but that's actually what makes this watch great. It doesn't go with every single thing that you have. So even though it doesn't go with every single thing, when it does work, it looks incredible, and the dial just pops, and the color, it's really hard to capture in this indoor lighting. I don't specifically like green watches, but I do like this one. It's classic and it's timeless. Well, the Submariner design is what I mean. Since people are already familiar with the design of the Submariner, it makes sense to just add color to it. And all Rolex really did was change it from black to green, and voila, you have the Rolex Hulk Submariner. And as everybody knows, it's quite hard to get this piece nowadays. Rolex had a great formula when they made this watch. They took something that is generally accepted and admired by all watch enthusiasts, and they just gave it a slight amount of controversy. Controversy being some people liked it, some loved it, some hated it. And some just weren't sure how they felt about it, especially when it first came out. And everybody was used to a black sub. And when they came out with the green one, they were just like, whoa, hold on a second. If you stay too conservative, people are going to think it's boring. If you come out with the same watch year after year in the same colors, people are going to think it's boring. So I think they did a great job with this design. And also, you know, everybody and their mom has a black Submariner. It's one of the most common watches that you're going to run into. Not to mention that the black Submariner is one of the most copied watches in the world. Lots of homages and lots of companies have ripped it off and used the same design. So if you're wearing a black Submariner, it could possibly just put you into the crowd. It's hard to differentiate it. I had made mention to the Kermit earlier, the 50th anniversary. I forgot to say that. So the Hulk has the green dial and the green bezel, but the Kermit actually has the green bezel, but it had a black dial with the maxi markers, hour markers. The Kermit had debuted in 2003, I believe, and the bezel of the Submariner 5-digit series was aluminum, whereas this is the ceramic Cerachrome. I'll admit that the aluminum inserts now kind of feel cheap, especially when you have it both on hand. You can definitely feel the difference in quality between this Cerachrome and the old aluminum ones that came on the 5-digit. Also, making the Cerachrome bezel in black is a lot easier than green because black as a color is more stable. Colors such as green tend to be less consistent in this. When they Rolex does is they bake the color into the ceramic inserts. This is kind of another reason why you see less colored inserts or colored ceramic inserts compared to the aluminum bezels. Usually for ceramic bezels, like not just Rolex but for any other company, they just come in either black or white because those are the easiest colors to make. Tones such as blue, red, orange, yellow, or any of the brighter colors for the bezel is just a lot more difficult to make, so you rarely see them on watches. The bezel and dial on this watch is just gorgeous. The dial and the bezel, it's slightly different shades of green. The green bezel is polished, but still kind of matte. And the dial of the Hulk is, more sunburst and metallic. Depending on how the light hits it, the green changes. Sorry for the smudges on the watch. I try to wipe it off, but it's still showing it. But you can see the sunburst dial and how it changes. This can be seen more easily outside. Inside the watch is the in-house made Rolex caliber 3135 automatic movement. It operates at 4 Hz with about 42 hours of power reserve. Rolex states that it performs at about 2 seconds per day, which is actually superior to even the COSC chronometer certification. The steel used is Rolex's, they call it oyster steel now, so it's 904L stainless steel. It's supposed to be harder than regular steel, but I can't really tell the difference. I do wear this watch quite often, so there's going to be scratches, especially desk marks. So the Submariner has the glide lock, as opposed to my GMT, which has the Easy Link. Personally, I prefer the glide lock as opposed to the Easy Link. The Easy Link, it's a set size that it comes out. The glide lock, you can actually adjust it smaller or bigger. The Easy Link is just it kind of just flips out. So if your wrist is a little too small, or if the Easy Link is a little too big, there's nothing much you can do. The MSRP of this watch, from the Rolex site, in Canadian is about $10,300. I can't seem to get this. Yeah. It's about 10,300 Canadian. That equals to about, I think from today, maybe like 8,000 US dollars, something around there. The secondary market, I've seen it being sold online for around like 10,000 US, even over 10,000 US, which is pretty insane. Yeah. But honestly, I think that watches in Canada is just generally cheaper than it is anywhere else. Especially if you take into consideration the exchange rate. So if you're from the US and you bring US currency here and you exchange it into Canadian, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck, so to speak. You can also go on Rolex's website to check out their prices. I think the Rolex website, it goes by the currency of your country. Since I'm in Canada, it's showing me the Canadian prices. And you can compare it to some of the other models. The Rolex BLNR Batman, the GMT Master 2, I did a review on it not too long ago. It was slightly lower in price than this. The BLNR was $10,200 from the Rolex dealer, and this is $10,350, I think. But on the used market, kind of kicked the table. On the used market now, the BLNR, the price has actually caught up. They're around even. Maybe I've seen the Batman actually go for more than the Hulk. When I got the Batman, this was definitely my other choice, and it was hard. It was hard debating and rationalizing which one I should get. And the Batman was one of my first real purchases of a Rolex. I've owned Rolexes before, but they were used and they were, the Datejust, and it was like 36 millimeter. So the Batman was one of the first expensive watches from Rolex that I was getting. And I chose the Batman over the Hulk, even though I love the Hulk. The Batman won. I love the polished center links of the Batman. I like the brushed links of the Submariner as well. It just is not as shiny, and I like shiny things. But I did end up getting this anyways, simply because you need a Submariner in your collection. And I'm always the type of person that if a watch came in a color and then they had like a special color, like in this case it's either the black Submariner or the green, I go for the more special one. So ended up going for this one, and I love it. It's one of my most worn watches, if not my most worn, simply because the glide lock is so easy to use. The bracelet is very comfortable. I definitely recommend this watch if you're looking into buying this, or just a Submariner in general. You can't go wrong with a sub, and you definitely can't go wrong with a green sub. Thank you for watching my videos. Please click like and subscribe. And if there's any other watches you'd like to see me review, comment below. Thank you.